video. A couple years ago I posted a video of a homemade lighthouse I built, but I didn't really show how I made the beacon on the top rotate. I'm going to show you how I made mine rotate. It's real easy, pretty inexpensive, very DIY friendly. So if you have an old lighthouse and you want to upgrade it and make it look a little more authentic with a nice rotating beacon, you can do it this way. Or if you're planning on building one but you really don't know where or how to go about the beacon portion, hopefully this video will help you. I'm going to start off by going over the motor, because that's obviously the heart of the whole thing. Now this motor right here came out of those old Christmas displays where it was like a deer, where the head would raise up and down, side to side. Those old light up ones. These are really good because they're gear ducted and they're also watertight already. They're already sealed up because they're meant to be outside, so you're not going to have to worry about that. And they're also slow revolutions. They have like a 1.5 revolutions per minute, which will give you a really authentic look. You can usually find these on like Amazon, Craigslist, maybe like some of the sales sites on Facebook. I'm not sure if Home Depot sells those anymore since everything's gone inflatables, but you might even be able to find them there. You always keep an eye out for them. After you get it off the rig, first thing you're going to do is you're going to pull this screw out and you take this little bracket off, because you're not going to want this bracket at all. Save that screw. And then after that, you're going to want to figure out what size can you're going to need for your project. This is just a regular paint can, nothing special. I use the bigger can than this because mine's a lot larger. But depending on the size of your project determines on what kind of can you're going to want to use. Plus, you also want something metal. You don't want anything plastic, because you don't want, because you're going to be putting a bulb in there. You don't want it to warp on you over time. So you're going to want something, a metal one. So like a baked beans can, paint can, anything like that that's metal. Then after that, what you're going to do is you're going to go to Home Depot, pick yourself up one of these like gusset plates. You can find these in the hardware area. This is for putting gussets, like when they build trusses or framing or anything like that, where they're doing like a reinforcement plate. Then what you're going to want to do is you're going to take your plate, you want to set it on your can, trace it out, so this way you're cutting off what you need to cut off to make it fit in the circumference of the can that you're using. Then you're going to find your center hole, which will probably be this one on this one. You're going to take it, and that's what you're going to screw it right to here. That's why you want to hold on to that screw. And obviously make sure you can figure out a good way of anchoring this down first before you start screwing all your parts to it, because obviously you want to be able to anchor this so it can't move or shift. I think on mine I just put a metal strap over. I just took a piece of metal like the straps you get at Home Depot and bent it around it like this and screwed it down and put 2 screws in those, and that's how I anchored mine down so it didn't move. That's pretty easy to do. Then after you get that plate mounted to the motor, then you're going to mount it to the bottom of your can. And the reason you want the big plate is you want to be able to take multiple holes and put between 3 and 4 screws in here. What that is, that's going to keep the can from wanting to do this over time, so it's not literally sitting on just one little teeter point. It'll make a nice flat surface, nice platform for it to sit on. After you get all that anchored and you got it mounted on your rig, before you mount it, getting ahead of myself, then you got to figure out your flash pattern. I did 2 flash patterns on mine. You can do 2, 3, 4, 5, however many you want. But what you're going to do is on the can here, you're just going to take either a pair of scissors, utility knife. I used an angle grinder with a cutoff wheel, and just took essentially a little section out. I think I did about 3/4 of an inch. I actually made them too big, and I closed them in, which you'll see when I get to that point, because you only want a quick burst of light. You don't want a long duration of light, because you want that almost like that quick little flash, and that's it. I did 2 on mine. So I have mine set up as 27 seconds, then 7 seconds. But you can do whatever you want with yours. After you get those cut, you have your motor mounted, and you get it mounted in your lighthouse. Obviously you want an empty can. The light bulb is going to go right down in the center of this. So you can either use 2x4, 1x2. If you're good at welding and using metal, you can build a little tower over top of this that goes all the way across. You're going to get one of those little light sockets. You can get those at Home Depot as well. They're pretty cheap, the little plastic ones. You can just put 2 screws in it. You're going to hang that from it, and you're going to stick it. The bulb's going to go down inside and try to get the bulb belt in the center of the can. And essentially what's going to do is as the can rotates around, you'll see the bulb for that split second, and then you won't see it no more, which will kind of give you that look. And from a distance, it looks really good. Obviously, right up close, it's not going to look as good as it does, from across the yard. So once you get it all built, you get it all figured out what you're going to do, then you just mount it in your rig and plug it right in. And the other good thing about using these ones is you have this extra plug. That's what you can use to plug your light bulb into. So you only have one plug that will run the whole thing, and you don't have to have multiple wires running around, or two separate plugs, or a power strip. Your power thing is right there because it's what the Christmas lights would have been plugged into. So I'm going to show you the finished product and what mine look like. Alright, here's mine, and I think it's getting ready to flash. Oh, there it is. It almost didn't zoom in fast enough. That's the lighthouse that I posted a couple years ago. I'm going to go up there and show you how it looks on the inside. Alright, we're at the top of my lighthouse. As you see, I have one of those big prism style lenses that came off an old tower light. You probably won't inquire one of those, but you don't necessarily need it. I happen to have it, so that's why I used it. Now the bulb on mine, I mounted the bulb on mine to my lid. My lid's hinged. So as soon as I lift the top up, my light's attached right to there. And once you get inside, you can see the light, you can see the can, my notch. And you see, I only end up doing 2 screws in mine, but since the plate covered the whole bottom, that's still more than sufficient. But you can see where I made my notches too big, and I had to add that extra piece because it was too big. That's why I'm recommending about 3/4 of an inch. As you see, it's a real slow rotation. It's pretty quiet. This has been up here for a few years, so you're hearing a little bit, but normally they're pretty silent. And then, so I'm going to go to close it. I'm using an LED bulb, just a regular screw and LED bulb. You can use any kind of bulb. You can use an LED bulb. You can use a halogen bulb. You can use the old-fashioned, just normal bulb. You can use those curly fluorescent bulbs, incandescent, whatever you want to use, as long as it's 110, so you can hook it to your system. So once I close, my bulb just goes right in. Alright, we're back on the ground. That's the lighthouse that I posted. As you see, it's probably, I think it's about 14 feet to the very top. It's made out of a 2-foot diameter sewer pipe. Wasn't used. And the house is made out of 3/4 inch foam board that you also can get from Home Depot. It's insulation foam board. I just cut it, carved it, glued it together. So it's real lightweight, easy to move. This actually is where my well's at. So I actually use it as essentially my well house. And the actual insulation works great for cold temperatures. I ain't gotta worry about freezing. And plus it keeps everything dry. But if you have any questions on what I did, how I did it, or another way of possibly maybe building that beacon on top, leave me a comment. I'll try to get back to you. Thanks for watching.